Hi everyone, it's been quite a while since I've created a mini book to share with you. I really haven't done a lot of crafting in the last few months, and so now I'm getting back into it. What I did use for this book was the 12 Days of Christmas collection from Graphic 45, and I used already pre-cut 6x6 black chipboard that I purchased online from Joann's. I don't believe that they sell it in the store. And this book, like I said, is 6x6. It has 8 pages, which includes the inside of the front cover and the back cover. There's probably room for about 36 photos, and could be more depending upon the size that you use. If you use smaller photos, obviously you'd get more photos into it. And then again, you may just want to put some journaling into it, so maybe you won't even use that many photos in it. For my binding, I just used rings. I don't know why, but this is my favorite way to bind books. I mean, I've done different bindings, but for some reason I just love rings. And what I did is I used seam binding from, I believe I bought it from Really Reasonable Ribbon. And then I used one of the Tim Holtz swivel clasps and one of his tokens, the Muse tokens, and this one says Christmas on it. For my cover, I did use the, obviously the Graphic 45. This right here is just some Basil cardstock. And then I did take my distresser and went around the edges. For this little piece in the center, I used one of the chipboard pieces, and I popped out the center and just adhered that to the cover, and then I did put some pop dots underneath this part to pop it up a little bit. This is the foliage die from Spellbinders. So I cut that out and just kind of inked it up a little bit. This is one of the poinsettias. I've had these forever. I believe they're from Hero Arts. And the gem in the center, I picked up a ton of the gems at the dollar store. And up here I did use one of the Tim Holtz, what are they called? The hinge clasps. And the reason that I used that is because on the next page, I'm using it to hold the 3 photo mats in. So it just kind of holds them in place there. So there's 3. And then this is the Tim Holtz tinsel that I used throughout on some other mats too. Here's one of the little cardstock pieces, and then I just adhered it to one of the pockets. I used a pocket, they have pockets and tags, and you just pop them out and glue them together, so I used that, and then I put just a little tag inside of the pocket here. On this page, I just left it blank to add photos or journaling or, you know, adhere something, whatever you want to do. And then again, I used another one of the banners up here from the collection. On this page, I added some, I took some of the pattern paper, and then I added some gemstones to the center. I used my We Are Memory Keepers tab punch to punch out my tabs, and I am using the basic gray magnets to keep this closed, otherwise it's flopping open. And then I just used some pattern paper on the back side of this, and there's just room for photos or journaling or whatever you want. This was part of the a sticker, so I cut part of that off and used it. On this page, I left it again wide open for photos, and I used some of the flowers and the flower centers from the collection, and I popped them up by, you know, took a little tool and twisted them a little bit and rolled them around and inked them up and popped those up here. And then I just used some gemstones here that I had purchased from Michaels. On this page, I took a piece of the cardstock, and this is my absolute favorite from the collection, this and the plaid. The green plaid and the red plaid. I love plaid. And then I used the Tim Holtz Torn Notebook, I believe it's called, on the edge die. And then I just took a cardstock piece and popped that in there, hoping it would, you know, hold these in here a little bit. These tags were cut from the Sizzix die that I have, and then I used 2 of the gemstones here. These tags were cut from the Tim Holtz die that I have, and then again I used some Tim Holtz tinsel in there. And for this one, I just cut the paper and then I used a Fiskars punch that I have for that. And then this was just part of the cardstock collection. And then also a photo could go in there. On this page, what I did is I used one of the cardstock pieces. I just adhered it to some red cardstock. And again, I used a magnet, the basic gray. Put some more cardstock here. And then this just opens up and there's plenty of room for photos or journaling. And then I used one of the stickers there, that first day of Christmas. I left this page again wide open for photos, or you know, someone wants to attach mementos of some sort, they can. This page again, I used the Fiskars punch, some of the gemstones, and then I used the Tim Holtz. No, for these I didn't use the Tim Holtz tag. These tags I just made myself. But what I did use is some of the cardstock from the collection and just adhered those for the tabs. And then on this one I cut more paper from the collection and used the We Are Memory Keepers tab punch. And that's it. It's just a cute little book. I used green patterned paper on the back. I do have another 6x6 book that I'm working on. And I also have 2 4x6 books that I'm working on with this same paper collection. I will be adding this book to my eBay store, so I will provide the link down in the bottom. And then I'll also provide the link in the bottom for Really Reasonable ribbon, because they really do have a lot of really nice ribbon and it's very inexpensive. So I'll provide that link along with my blog link in the bottom. And thank you for stopping by and taking a look at my book.